What does Darkwing Duck have to do with Celestia? Absolutely nothing. So let's take a look together at these two very different but very good in their own way hardcovers from Fantagraphics. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Before getting started, a huge thank you to the folks at Fantagraphics for sending us advanced copies of Darkwing Duck and Celestia. Now, both of these books are hardcover formats, and like I mentioned earlier in the opening, they're both really good and unique in their own way. So, both of these, Celestia's just a little bit bigger in trim size than Darkwing Duck, and we'll be looking at Darkwing first. So, Darkwing Duck, no dust jacket. Here's what the spine looks like. And then the back of the book. The book retails for $29.99. And this is a really interesting collection because this is labeled as the Just Us Ducks and other stories. And we'll find out what that means, especially with that little logo right there, which I got really excited about. So the dimensions of Darkwing Duck actually are a little bit bigger than your Carl Barks collections. If you're interested to see what they look like together, here they are. Again, no dust jacket. It's just the art on the board. It's got a glossy finish to the character of Darkwing right there. And in the back, some of the other characters that you'll see pop up in here. Alright, let's look in here. Disney Afternoon. That brings back memories. Just those words right there. Of 1987, 1988. And here we have Darkwing Duck. So this is the very first collection from Fantagraphics. And what this collects are a bunch of the Disney Afternoon magazines or anthology series. So these are the old classic stories from the 90s. And it all starts off with this particular storyline right here, Just Us Ducks, Part 1, where a bunch of Darkwing Duck's nemesis team up to form the Fearsome Five. So we're talking the biggest baddies that he's ever faced. Megavolt, Bushroot, uncanny humor talk pretty one day. Bushroot, Negaduck, the Liquidator, Quackerjack. These guys all team up to form the Fearsome Five. So Darkwing has to come up with his own team. So he has his team of Morrigan and Stegmutt, and of course Gizmo Duck, and another character shows up, which is kind of a surprise to the joints. And none of them are ducks. As a matter of fact, they're like honorary ducks. And I'll leave that surprise for later. We also get the comic adaptation of the Goof Troop movie. There's a little short gummy bear story back here. So that brings back a lot of memories. And honestly, the way that this is written reminds me a lot of Carl Barks and Don Rosa's Duck comics. I think that's why this was such an easy read. Amongst my heavy reading I've been doing this particular month, I took time when these came in to read them. Just because I wanted to give them a fair shot. Here's a freaking secret I've never told anybody. I don't think on the channel anyway. I've never seen the Goof Troop movie. So this is my first experience watching Goof Troop was coming out when I was getting out of high school. So it was around the time when I wasn't really watching cartoons. But DuckTales and Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, Gummy Bears, that stuff, that really, that was my Disney Afternoon. So, there is an interesting story back here. So there's little shorts, of course, of Rescue Rangers and DuckTales, but there's also this interesting crossover. It's called The Legend of the Chaos God. So it's all about this particular character, Solego, right here, and how he crosses into the lives of Tailspin. Forgot about Tailspin. Love Baloo. He was one of my favorite characters as a kid. I wanted to grow up to be like that guy. Well, maybe not that tubby, but that cool. Rescue Rangers. All because of this crystal. And it's a 5-part crossover into Goof Troop, which leads into DuckTales with Part 4, and then Part 5 ends with Darkwing Duck. Now, Solego, I think he was created for the comic. I don't think I've ever seen that character in the original cartoon. Of course, he could very well be in the new cartoon, because I never did finish it. And then we even have a Bonkers comic back here, and that was another comic I never really read, because that was out of my, when I was out of watching Disney Afternoon. And the interesting thing about Bonkers is that Disney couldn't legally use the character of Roger Rabbit, so they had to create this brand new character. So it's behind the scenes of the crossover of Bonkers for the cartoon. So I've never seen a single episode. This is the first comic I've ever read with him in it. And there we have some more DuckTales. It's all we see the more more of the Duck comics back here. So there's no extras. The paper quality on this particular book is this thick matte paper, the same kind that you find in the Don Rosa collection or the Carl Barks Duck collection. The binding of the book is sewn binding, and the book has 208 pages. Now let's move on to Celestia. Celestia. This is a hardcover that I've been anticipating since I heard about it back in January, so we'll be looking at it here in a little bit, but first let's look at that spine, and then of course the back of the book. And this one also retails for $29.99. One of my favorite things about the book, though, is that the pages have this blue tint to it. So the book looks, I don't know, I just love the look of this book. It's simple yet absolutely beautiful with that painted cover. Alright, let's get this open and talk a little bit about it without not going into spoiler territory. So, it's gonna be a little hard to describe this book because I don't want to give spoilers away. But, and not to hype it up, but this is probably one of my favorite reads this year so far. It surprised me how beautiful, how easy it was to read, how much it just captivated me, and I didn't want it to go away. So on the front we have the character of Dora and Pierrot. Those are our main characters, and this is in a post-apocalyptic future where there's a group of psychics that are living on this island called Celestia. And I'm sorry, there's telepaths. They call themselves telepaths, and two of them, Dora and Pierrot, are on their way out of Celestia because something has happened to the real world. They don't know what's out there. Nobody's really been out there for a long time. What I enjoyed from the beginning, the hook, was this beautiful painted artwork. Each panel is just beautifully crafted. And while the character of Pierrot was kind of, how do I put it, an ass, I don't know, there were some redeeming qualities about him, and I know it's not a review of the book. Whenever I do this, I always just showcase the artwork, but sometimes I can't help but put my 2 cents in when it comes to a story that really moved me, and this is one that I couldn't put down. It felt like I was reading a dream. I didn't know what was real, I didn't know what to expect, but I wanted to find out as soon as possible. I read this all in one night, immediately after reading the Darkwing Duck book, and it surprised me how good it was. Now this one does have mature content. Remember when I said they were good but different in their own ways? This one absolutely has a lot of mature content. There's a lot of sexual content in here. There's a lot of mature language. So keep that in mind. If that's a big turnoff for you, then this book may not be for you. Now, as far as the creator, Manuele Fior, I'm so interested in reading other books that he's done because this was so amazing. I didn't want to put it down. The visuals are beautiful. It's like that movie, what was it? Fell. I loved it. This book has 268 pages, retails for $29.99. There are no extras in the back. I don't even want to get to that ending. I just want you to kind of admire this beautiful artwork. And it's just, you know, the premise is just, it's better going into it not knowing exactly what to expect. All you have to know is that these two characters come from a land of Celestia, and they're telepaths. They see thoughts, they see each other's thoughts, and maybe or maybe not, there's other human beings out there like them outside of Celestia once they get out of this little island in the middle of nowhere. But that's up to you to find out. This book is freaking awesome and probably will make my top 10 reads of 2021. If you're interested in purchasing these books, don't forget to check out our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They pride themselves on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. Check out the bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. CGN is excited to announce that they are now taking pre-orders. They're making it easier for you to ensure that you don't miss out on the hottest releases. CGN is currently running a special promotion for your minties. If you're a first-time customer, let them know that you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. This promotion is valid for U.S. customers only. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount and quality shipping and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of each of these books. Let me know in the comments down below which ones you're picking up. If you're a fan of the Duck books, if you've read any of Manuele Fior's books, I would love to know that, and I would love to know which ones you recommend. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, ring that bell for notifications. We are on Spreadshop and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. More importantly, everyone, stay healthy, stay safe, and much love.